After noting all the dimensions on my object that I'm going to be drawing, I'm going to go ahead and analyze how I'm going to set it up on this sheet of paper. One of the illustrations that I presented was we first have to determine how much space the three views of the object are going to take. For example, in this general area we're going to have the front view, and I'll just very lightly lay out some views, and the letter F for frontal view, and then somewhere over here I'm going to have the right side view. Okay, and somewhere up here I'm going to have my top view. And I don't know exactly where, because I have to do a little bit of math. Unfortunately, math comes back to haunt you over and over. So you need to learn how to attack it, how to conquer it. So if the frontal view is going to be 5 1/4 inches this way, and I'm going to arbitrarily leave an inch between my front view and my right side view. So 5 1/4, and then maybe I can just go ahead and lightly, I'm going to have to erase these later, but I've got 5 1/4 plus 1 plus 3. I think that's going to give me 6, 9 1/4 inches. Okay, so my full length that I'm going to require down here is 9 1/4 inches, and I already know that my sheet is 11 inches in width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 11 inches and I'm going to subtract 9 1/4 inches. Well, I believe the answer is 1 3/4 inches. If you didn't automatically think that was the right answer, don't worry. Like I said, you're learning languages, so math is the other language you're going to have to learn. 1 3/4 inches divided by 2 is going to be 7/8 of an inch. If you want to check me on that, you can do so. So I know that from the edge of the paper, if I measure over 7/8 of an inch, and then the width of the object, which is 5 1/4, 5 1/4, which is right there, and then the space between the front view and the side view is going to be an inch, and then I've got 3 more inches over here. So I made some darker marks now that I know exactly where I'm going or what I need to provide. So these bottom marks are the ones that correspond with where my front view, my gap, and my side view are going to be. I'm going to have to calculate the distance for the top view as well. And on the top view, I'm going to have the depth again, which is 3 inches, and then I'm going to have an inch gap, and then I have to add 3 plus 3/8. So my math is going to be a little harder because now I have to deal with eighths. So 3 3/8 is 6, 7 3/8. So I'll write that down. 7 3/8. Okay, and now I do know that the height, or the distance from the bottom of my sheet to the top of my sheet, is how much? 8 1/2 inches. 8 1/2. So if I subtract 3/8 from a half, I get 1/8 of an inch, and 8 from 7 gives me 1 inch. So this object is going to fit very nice and tightly on my sheet vertically as well. So I can divide that by 2, and that would give me 5/8. No, that's not true. That would be, I have to come, if I'm dividing 1/8 by 2, I'm going to have to go to 16ths. So I've got like 9/16 of an inch, which isn't necessarily hard to measure. It's just 1/16 more than a half, which will be there. And then we can measure the same thing again here. Okay, so now I'll do some darker marks to indicate where my actual object is going to fit vertically, and then I can measure 3 3/8 3 3/8 for my front view, 1 inch, and then I should wind up with 3 inches up here, and it's close enough. Close enough. Okay. Now I can use my instruments to do this drawing, and I can also just practice my sketching skills by just simply transferring all these distances, just setting some additional marks. And trying to sketch this might be a little bit of a challenge for a basic level student. So it might be best to just go ahead and set this on your drafting surface or your computer. It doesn't really matter, because if you know how to use CAD, then you've got an advantage. The disadvantage with CAD is that you have to be very literate, because you're going to need some additional commands or tools to construct the object.